Hello, everyone. We're back. It's another week, and something awesome happened this past weekend. A new set came out, and this set is way above average in its effect on Eternal formats. What's up, Hunter Christ? Good to see you again. So, War of the Spark, if you've been living under a rock and don't know, contains a Planeswalker in every single pack. Many of them are uncommon, some are rares and mythics. And the formula that the formula that they've used to rare ship these planeswalkers is that all of them have some sort of static ability, meaning as long as the card's in play, it's just an ability that's always taking effect. And most of them tick down but don't tick up. The rares tick up, but the uncommon ones only go down. And most of them are templated that they can use their abilities some number of times and then they sit and play at one loyalty. So it's really interesting, like this design space, because these are basically enchantments that have activated abilities that you can also attack. So like this card is like this card, for example, each opponent can't draw more than one card each turn. So that's a powerful ability. That ability has been seen on Spirit of the Labyrinth and Leovold Emissary of Trust, both of which have gotten played in Eternal formats. And this card also just like draws 2 cards while she sits in play. However, unlike if you cast Leovold and your opponent attacks, and you can just choose not to block if like taking damage is worth more than them not drawing cards anymore. But like they can, if they have creatures, they can attack this particular effect. It's like they can attack your hate enchantment. However, the hate enchantment comes with built-in extra value. So like it's really interesting that these are just like, and they are planeswalkers, but they play like enchantments, but they also still play like planeswalkers. And there's a lot of them. There's like, is there exactly 36? I'm not sure. There's enough that you can get one in every pack with no repeats in a box. So this one in particular is each opponent can't draw more than one card. One of them is a one-sided null rod. One of them is you have hexproof. Like there's just a lot of sweet things built into these low-cost planeswalkers. And like 3 mana is usually the sweet spot for just like a value play on a planeswalker. Like Jace Beleren got a lot of play back when planeswalkers were new, before you got outclassed. But like look at Liliana of the Last Hope and Liliana of the Veil. 3 mana is a sweet spot. Dak Faden, 3 mana is a sweet spot. Jace the Mind Sculptor costs 4, but it does so much more than that. So like at 4 mana it has to be a game winner. At 3 mana it can just be like a value play. So there's a lot of really interesting things happening at 3 mana with these static abilities on planeswalkers. So this list I got from the Power 9. He got 2nd place in the Vintage Challenge this past weekend. The Power 9 also designed the 75 that I won Vintage Champs with last year. So I tend to trust his deck building pretty well. He's a powerful PO wizard. So KM613, thanks for the follow. So this list, Narset is obviously the new spice. So Narset is 3 mana, blue, 1. Each opponent can't draw more than one card each turn. And then you can -2 to look at your top 4 cards, put a non-creature, non-land card from among them into your hand. So it's like a slightly watered down Impulse. And you can do that twice, and then she just sits in play as this Leovold effect. Yeah, Narset looks real good. So in addition to each opponent can't draw more than one card each turn, so that ability is just strong because vintage decks like drawing cards in general. But the Power 9's deck really abuses that by having maximum draw 7s. Like, look at this. So draw 7, Each player draws 7, but not your opponent. If Narset's in play, they only get 1. Each player draws 7, but not with Narset. Tinker for Memory Jar. This one's not so bad because like they discard the cards anyway, and it's usually like mill 7, but now it's just mill 1, like just in case. So these draw 7s pair really well with Narset, and drawing 7 is something that a combo deck wants to do anyway. So Narset is a natural fit in this kind of deck. It's like a hateful permanent, also a value engine, and also just a combo piece with your draw 7s. So that's the Narset part. One thing to note about this particular build is that we're on hard mode. There is one win condition in this deck, and it's Tendrils of Agony. Like, I guess short of decking them somehow with all your draw 7s, which is unlikely with Narset, so a little non-bo there. You're not going to deck your opponent when you have Narset in play. But Tendrils is the only win condition. There's no Mentor. This is a Grixis build because of Wheel of Fortune and Pyroblast. There's no white mana, so there's no Monastery Mentor. There's not even a Snapcaster Mage. There is no backup plan. It's Tendrils or bust. And my other favorite super sweet piece of technology in this list. Yeah, Force of Will is our only way to beat Mindbreak Trap. So if Tendrils gets discarded once, we do have Yogg Will to fire it off again. Like, we have one chance to re-Tendrils, and we have Time Twister to shuffle it back in and try again if all of that fails. But if this Tendrils ever gets exiled for any reason, we lose. There's not another plan. There just isn't. Unless our opponent goes to 3, because this deck has 1 Lightning Bolt in it. I guess they could go to 9. Nope, they could go to... Yeah, they could go to 9. We could bolt them, twist, redraw the bolt, and then Yogg Will that bolt. So we can kill an opponent from 9, theoretically. But... So, Lightning Bolt is super sweet technology. This spot generally is a Pyroblast. Like, if you use this one main deck red spot, like, if you have a 1-mana red spell in your main deck as a one of, it's usually a Pyroblast. But Lightning Bolt kills Lavinia the same way Pyroblast does. It sometimes kills Jace, not as well as Pyroblast does, but it can clip a Jace. It can kill a Lodestone Golem. It can kill a Phyrexian Revoker. It can kill a Narset Parter of the Veils that's gone -2. It can kill a new Karn. The new Karn that is a Null Rod when it's in play. You can bolt that. So with every deck trying out these new Planeswalkers right now, Lightning Bolt is like having something that deals damage is more relevant than something that destroys a blue permanent. So I like the Lightning Bolt. Super spicy. KM613, I have no idea. I do not have an answer to that question. I have not played Vintage in probably 2 weeks now. I was testing for Grand Prix Niagara, so I've been playing exclusively Legacy. So I have not played Vintage with the London Mulligan yet, and I certainly haven't played Vintage with the War of the Spark cards yet. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of cool new effects that pressure Planeswalkers, Karate Dome. Yeah, there is a sideboard plan. You can board into a Blightsteel Colossus. So there is a backup plan against shops. You don't have to Tendrils them out. So that's some smart deck building. In the main deck, the Tinker is just a draw 7. It's just another 3-mana draw 7. But in the sideboard, it becomes a win condition. So that's super tight. I'm a big fan of that. But we could talk about this all day. Let's go get into the queue. We're not playing Legacy tonight. I gotta let Legacy settle down a little bit before I try to jump in. There's a lot of people brewing with Teferi right now on Legacy. I'm seeing all kind of awesome moto photos that like one like just started going around like minutes before I started streaming, where somebody had Burn soft locked with Teferi. The Burn player was Hellbent, and the blue player was Esper, and they had a Raven's Crime in the graveyard. Yeah, leagues are always hostile to PO. That's what we sign up for. Yeah, there was one night on stream, last time I streamed Vintage. Altassi16, thanks for the follow, by the way. Last time I streamed Vintage, I was playing PO, and I played against the same person playing the same, like, Hate Bears deck 3 of my 5 matches. And it was like an unwinnable Hate Bears. It wasn't like a blue deck with some Lavinias. It was like just fucking like Chalice, Null Rod, Thalia, Kambal. Like, gross. Is Winged Hussar a person or a card? Is that like a... What is Winged Hussar? Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Yeah, I got you. He's on Dredge. Yeah, Dredge is a powerful deck. I know a lot of people are really trying to push Dredge to the limits right now with the London Mulligan while it's testable. The London Mulligan is up for 2 more days. So I think it's going down Wednesday. So when I come back to stream on Wednesday, I think we'll be back to the Paris Scry Mulligan, like the normal Mulligan rules. Though I am a huge fan of the London Mulligan, I will say. I haven't played a lot of Vintage with it yet, but it's felt pretty sweet in Legacy. Like the concerns that the combo decks get broken, I'm not really worried about because I've been playing exclusively fair blue decks and your combo matchups get better. Like your Multi 5 can just be like land, threat, force, blue card, Flusterstorm. Yeah, I have heard Vintage players lamenting it on Twitter. I follow basically everyone who I know plays Vintage on Twitter, and a lot of people don't love it. But I haven't been here yet. I think that having a better mulligan rule is worth shaking up the restricted list for, though. Like, if we just have to restrict cards that we didn't restrict in, like, Paris Mulligan, but they're now suddenly too good, like, if Mox Opal needs to become a one of, like, yeah, whatever. If Magic gets better as a result, we'll take it. There will probably be some growing pains along the way, though. Yeah, that makes sense, Chubby Rain. Like, if there is a format that this mulligan is just untenably stable, because, like, that's what this mulligan does. It makes games more stable. It makes plans more stable. It makes fewer non-games. And in Vintage, if both players get to execute their plan, if they get to just impose their will on their opponent, then the person with the die roll is going to be favored. Yeah, Mox Opal is one of the most like potentially busted cards that is still unrestricted. I mean, PO obviously right there with it. They are hand in hand. And PO was on the like the top of the watch list before the mulligan rule that favors it. So I don't know, but as a person who, when I play Vintage, I just want to go totally broken and do like stupid things that you can't do in other formats. Like seeing all these people posting these like draw 7 storm decks that they're going 5-0 with, I fucking love it. I'm a huge fan of that. That's the kind of Vintage I want to play. And if I get just shit housed by like Campbell and Thalia, like, is what it is. Yeah, I agree, Chubby Rain. Like so I am in the minority where I'm a Vintage player who I have to figure out how to word this delicately. Like Vintage is a lot of fun, but I don't think it's a particularly like good, healthy, skill rewarding format. Like in general, I think that the smaller the format is, the higher skill set required to play it. Like I think limited requires the most skill as a Magic player to win consistently in, and it just goes backwards from there. I think Legacy might be more skill intensive than Modern, but like Vintage, like you sign up for some BS, and like the you're gonna get vintaged. Like we have a word for that. Like getting vintaged is just an accepted word for like my opponent had a number of restricted cards and we didn't play a game. And sometimes someone is always going to get vintaged. And if this mulligan gives both players a chance to vintage each other, then maybe that's balance, or maybe it's just like horrendously unfun. And I haven't played with it myself yet, so I'm not sure. Yeah, I know you're all about the Jund. You've been working hard on Jund for a long time. And yeah, the London Mulligan, from playing Legacy and Modern with it, I've noticed that I've noticed that the like rock solid like cantrip kind of decks, like cantrip based decks, uh, or decks like Jund that are just like rock solid, like the Rock. KM613, it's kind of a crapshoot, honestly, is the answer to that question. They asked if it takes this long to get into a match. Like sometimes they fire quickly, sometimes they take 10 minutes to find a match, and then you play against the same person 3 or 5 matches. Like there aren't that many vintage players, and they have to be like online and in this league at the same time. Like there's only 58 players in this league, and some number of them are probably asleep or at work right now. So we just gotta wait. It's not unusual when I stream vintage that I just play against people who are in the chat, because like they're on their computer, they have my vintage stream up, and they're in like in chat. Exactly, Chubby Rain. Like if a vintage player is online, they're probably interested in watching a vintage stream like while they play their vintage. And yeah, I frequently play against members of the chat, which is pretty cool because like we can real time debrief. Like as soon as the match is over, we can talk about like, oh, on that turn I could have done this, and then they're like, yeah, but I had this, and I'm like, oh, okay, then it was fine what I did. Karate Dom, if you want to be a hero, that's fine, but I'm fine just talking about vintage currently. I guess we can have the deck up on screen. We don't need to watch the loady ball of death. You can tuck this over here where you don't have to look at it. Yeah, so I was saying like the London Mulligan hurts hyper consistent decks and favors powerful decks. Like you don't need as much synergy if your mulligan does a lot of the work. Like in modern, with the Paris mulligan, Grix or is it Phoenix is just the best deck because you have 16 cantrips in your deck and you always get to execute your plan very quickly with tons of velocity. But like with the Paris mulligan, that's not as good because every deck is going to have what they want in their opening hand and they don't have to cast all those cantrips to find it. Like Tron will just like always Tron you. Like SRAM combo will frequently have SRAM plus equipments to go off with. Or like Ad Nauseum will frequently have an Ad Nauseum. Like Ad Nauseum, I believe, was the highest win rate at the Pro Tour, and it wasn't particularly close. If I remember reading one of the charts correctly. Yeah, like Ad Nauseum is exactly the kind of deck that is super powerful, but is not super consistent. Like you need one of a four of in your hand on the turn. You can protect it. Yeah, 62%, which is like pretty insane for a modern deck. Like that win rate is just like 10 points higher than any modern deck could reasonably expect. Yeah, like it's a powerful deck that relies on having exactly one card in hand right on time. Oh, we got a match, folks. I'm playing Fake Out. All right, so this hand has This is not a turn 1 Narset. It is a turn 2 Narset. I am on the draw, though. I have Mental Misstep, but no Force of Will. So on turn 1, I can play Sapphire, Opal, top, and spin my top. And turn 2, I can Narset. This hand seems capable. I might just die, but, you know. All right, the opponent's on 6. All right. Makes it feel a little better. This is a 1-of Mental Misstep, by the way. This deck plays 1 Mental Misstep and 4 Force and 1 Flusterstorm. So hopefully this hand just dies to Misstep. All right, let's go after this. All right, they cared. That means I care. Deal. All right, so they bottomed. Oh, the old 3 cards in hand library of Alexandria. D's. Let's take a peek. Let's see what they're up to. What did they keep? Dak, Bolt, Ponder. Oh, baby. So I can Narset next turn. All right, let's just put all these things into play. Guess I should look at my top card. If it's like Black Lotus, I might be able to go broken. All right, it's another Opal, a Ponder, and an Academy. Academy's pretty fucked up. All right, so if they don't find something real good real quick here, like a land, shit. All right, Dak's gonna do some damage. They have to take Sapphire, which sucks. All right, with the Academy, I still get to cast Narset, though. All right, that's fine. All right, so they found the red land right off the top. All right, so jam Narset. So we know about this Bolt, which can kill Narset. If I minus, I know there's a Ponder and a Mox Opal there. If I don't Narset, I think I just don't Narset. Like, that fucks up their Dak, it fucks up their Ponder. Yeah, all right. I'm okay with this situation. Let's just hope they don't draw Pyroblast. Pretty sure I put the Ponder on top too. Yeah, he can't plus Dak. His Ponder is just, you know, like, look at the top 3 cards, maybe shuffle. All right, so I'm gonna Wheel of Fortune first. Maybe I should Ponder first. Blue, blue. Is Ponder greedy? I think the Ponder's fine. If I find an artifact, I'll be super stoked. That's a pretty good artifact. Black Lotus. Are they dead? Or did they draw Force of Will? Because those are the only 2 options. Yeah! Ding, 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 ding. Thanks, Narset. That was sick. All right, so we're playing against Xerox. We want defense grids. Want Flusterstorm and Pyroblast. Our goal is to just jam through spells on one clutch turn. We're not going to bring in Blightsteel because their deck's full of Dax. How are they dead? So Narset says your opponent can't draw more than one card per turn. Wheel of Fortune says both players discard their hand and draw 7. So I get a fresh 7 and they get a random 1. So they weren't like literally dead, but they are a smart vintage player and know that they are not winning against a fresh 7 when they have nothing. So it was pretty brutal. Like it's just like Mind Twist plus the full refill. All right, so against, I think less Opal, Herx can take a break. Tinker is pretty bad. You don't want to walk into that 2 for 1. I guess. Yeah, it is nuts. Yeah, Narset in the deck, for those of you just tuning in. Time Twister, each player draws 7. Windfall, each player draws some number. Wheel of Fortune, each player draws 7. Memory Jar, each player draws 7. There is a theme to this deck. Put Narset into play and then rip your opponent's hand apart and refill your own. You want it against the Hate Bear decks and against shops. Yeah, there's no diminishing returns. I'll tell you why. Because diminishing returns exiles the top 10 cards of your deck when it resolves, and this deck only has 1 win condition in it. If this Tendrils gets exiled, we lose. Yeah, and Narset also digs for more draw 7s. So do I play the jar if I'm cutting the Tinker? Probably not, right? Doesn't seem great. Or is Windfall the worst one now? I've not boarded with this deck before, so I'm making all of this up as I go. This is probably fine as is. Wish I had another island in my deck, but I don't have time to figure out how to do that. All right, off we go. Yeah, I'm sure this is not perfect. You know it is perfect, though. Forest blue card, Time Twister, Black Lotus. Snap it off. I love going broken. It's the best thing in the world. Let's just hope they don't have a Flusterstorm. I can beat 1 counterspell. Whoa! Alright, so they can't Flusterstorm Narset. I think I just want to jam Narset. Then try to twist next turn. There she is. Let's see, do they have a Pyroblast? They can't Spell Pierce, they can't Flusterstorm. Alright, this is a Desperation Brainstorm. So if this resolves, I'm going to minus her and then Merchant Scroll for probably Ancestral Recall. I might even still be able to resolve Ancestral Recall this turn. All right, they had a Force. So I'm certainly going to force back. Do I pitch the Twister or the Scroll? I probably just pitch Twister, right? Because like Scroll has a clear path to PO or Ancestral, and Twister is a maybe. Right, yeah. Narset is just on a blue-blue value engine now. Easier to cast, harder to kill. All right, what do I pitch here? Is it Twister or Scroll? Probably Twister. Though, if I Narset into a Mox, I can twist right now and win the game on the spot. All right, I'm going big. Narset, find me a Mox. Come on, girl. Let's do it. Oh, baby. Mox Emerald? Let's not get Mind Break trapped here. Do we win? Did we do it? Oh no, what's happening? Oh, the opponent is tilting off in the chat. We did it. Yep. Swear word LOL in the chat. Yes, this is getting vintaged for those of you who just tuned in. Well, they said swear word LOL, and now they're not doing anything. Yeah, this is exactly how I want to start my vintage stream, by the way. Just mind twist plus draw 7 twice. All right, my opponent is... My opponent is chatting about the list now. Yeah. Yeah, that's an important thing to point out, Karate Dome. This vintage on Magic Online is dirt cheap. Like, seriously, if you're interested in this format, but you can't afford an $8,000 Black Lotus in real life, because who can? Like, if you're not filthy rich or you didn't buy in years ago, like, I don't know. If I hadn't been playing vintage for like 10 years already, I certainly couldn't afford Power now. But like, yeah, a set of Power on Magic Online is like $40. Wow, do we just win? All right. They have 0 cards in hand. Oh yeah, because they cast Brainstorm. They don't even get the 1. Oh, it's even cheaper. All right, so my Black Lotus is back in the deck. All right, so if I top into Black Lotus, I can win on the spot. Otherwise, I'll just have to win next turn somehow. Yeah, so I have to spin for Lotus. My opponent is busy chatting about the ramifications of Narset in Vintage. Yeah, and you get to draw a card. Yeah, well, my opponent is also describing to me why this deck is worse in the real life metagame than it is online. But I like this deck against shops. I would love to chat with my opponent in the chat or somewhere else where we weren't like in the middle of playing a timed match. Not to be rude, but we're live here. Yeah, the Narset Impulse was what let me do that. Like, I got to fight over that Force of Will and then immediately draw the extra mana source. Yeah, Narset is a lot like a dig through time. Yeah, I mean, it's good. We are having a good conversation. So, right. Must counter replaces itself immediately. It's only busted in this format, though. Like, it's fine and limited. Yeah, it's dig plus a little extra. And costs, like, actual 3 mana, not honorary 2 mana. Like, Narset doesn't care about Rest in Peace. Dig becomes uncastable immediately. All right, they scooped it up. So all of the coolest moto photos I've seen from this week is Teferi, but Narset also seems very, very good. All right, let's see if I'm ahead of the buyout. Narset, Parter avails. Foils already sold out at $10 on Star City. So, nope, I am not ahead of the buyout. I'm sure very smart people got foils for like $2 last week. But I think Narset is going to be an Eternal Magic staple. Like, Legacy is different than Vintage because you can't really power things out the same way. Like this deck just like Opal Island, turn on the Opal, you have a Narset. Or like Black Lotus Narset. Legacy, you actually have to tap out on your third turn to cast this thing, which is not quite comparable. Unless you're like a blue-based combo deck, like Narset could bring back Omnitel. Like Omnitel was the best deck in the format when Dig Through Time was legal, and became nigh unplayable without Dig Through Time. All right, we have an opponent again. Yeah, Anurag is a madman and willing to try anything. All right, so this hand doesn't do much. All right, my opponent kept 7. That's rough. So since we're in London, I'm going to mulligan this again. In Paris, I would probably keep this. Oh, God. It's just getting worse. We're so fucked. All right, we're on 4 cards. All right, I got to keep this. All right, so I got to get rid of 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. All right. We're probably dead. On the spot. Yeah, I've seen some sweet stuff with Teferi, though. Teferi is really interesting because, like, it's good as, like, a defense grid against, like, in control decks. And it's, or in combo decks. But it's also good as against combo decks as a control deck. So like whatever blue deck, whatever you're doing that has Teferi in play when the opponent doesn't, is ahead. All right, that just resolved somehow. I guess I can play out these Mox in case they Lavinia me. I'd rather have them in play. Though if they play Lavinia, we're fucked anyway. Unfortunately, I didn't draw a third Mox to just do the twist. Though I'm not even sure if I want to do the twist. If my Ancestral just resolved. Like maybe they kept a clunker. It's also entirely possible that they're just like a Mox Opal away from jamming PO and crushing me this turn. We're on a mull to 4. I can't complain too much. The Ancestral got us back up to 6 at least. Let's just draw a land and go off. That's even better. Well, they didn't have a counterspell last turn. Let's see what happens now. Shit, do they have mana drain? That would be so bad. I hope they're just hopping in response. Oh, they're hardcasting Force. It cost them their mana vault to do it. I'm fine with that. We can Twister next turn and just go ape again. Though they're dumping out a lot of their hand too, so like Twister is not just a blowout. I don't even have a black source for Vamp Tutor. And I'm definitely going to do the twist next turn, unless I draw another PO. We have a win condition now. Mana Vault, get him. Oh, what's this shit? Are they playing a Narset? We can't beat that. Oh, G-Probe. Oh, they were just shuffling for their top. Yeah, if they play a Narset here, we are wrecked. Just absolutely wrecked. So my whole hand can't beat a Narset. Shit. Alright, that just made Time Twister a little better. Alright, that made it worse. Alright, yeah, they saw the Twister, so now they're just dumping their hand. Let's draw... Narset doesn't even help because I don't have double blue. Alright, now I have black. Twister shuffles, so I could vamp and brainstorm into whatever I vamped for, but that seems worse than just going for the Twister. And Time Twister shuffles, so there's no reason to vamp before I twist. They have 7 fresh ones over there. Let's see what we can do. I can cast Memory Jar and just see what happens. I can also cast Merchant Scroll and pass the turn, but that doesn't seem like a winning line. Jar, 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 jar. All right. What? Let's see. Where's your 100% force of will? There it is. All right. That's out of there. All right. We got to pass the turn, unfortunately. Yeah, it's rough when they get to set up against the Twister, because, like, pretty much had to twist there. And I guess I could have tried to dance something together with the Brainstorm and the Vamp. Yeah, we still have a land drop. Oh, I guess I could have scrolled for PO. That's my plan next turn. Welcome to the stream, Power9, by the way. Everyone, this is the creator of this deck. Alright, so they're just keeping all their cards. That's interesting. Now I can natural tendrils them pretty easily, unless I just die, which is always an option. Oh, Mentor. Uh-oh. No time walk, no time walk, no time walk. If we can fade Time Walk, we might still be in this game, but other than that, probably not. Brainstorm, all right. Yeah, so it looks pretty bad. And Time Walk is just the nail, but if we get a turn, we at least get to shove some spells onto the stack and see what happens. Yeah, there's no like balance or anything in the deck, so this Mentor is just in play now. That's the new normal. Alright, I'm F6ing opponent. The coast is clear. Do what you want. Oh no, 2 mana. That's the worst number. Alright, the old repeal trick. So for those of you, if you're not a vintage player, repeal. If you repeal your own Mox, it's a free storm and free card deeper into your deck. It costs no mana, no cards. Oh god, there's the PO. We're so fucked. Woo. Alright. Maybe they'll still miss on Time Walk somehow. They have only seen half their deck, and they only have one of them. So it's 50-50 right now that they have the Time Walk. They bounced the Mentor himself. There's the Time Walk. We are DED. Alright. So lucky. Yeah, Stu. We had to play a pretty desperate twister that didn't get there. Alright, so we want our counter spells. Because we want our cards to resolve. What do we not want? We don't need 2 Hercules. We have a better card than Bolas' Citadel. We have Narset Parter of Veils. You missed the first match. The first match I had a turn 2 Narset into turn 3 Wheel of Fortune, and then I had a turn 1 Narset into Time Twister, all on turn 1. So, good things have happened. Lightning Bolt's probably not great in this matchup. I don't expect them to have a Lavinia of their own. And yeah, Citadel is fucking nice. Like, that's a card I'm definitely planning on experimenting with. Alright, what am I trying to get rid of here? Tinker, Windfall. I want all the Narsets. I think I want the draw 7s because they go with the Narset. So I got Mox Opal. But powering out Narset is important. Like, figuring out all the nuances of this deck. Yeah, Petal is, like, on my short list of worst cards left. But powering out Narset seems so important here. Though, maybe it's fine. And I'm also on the play, so I want to go balls. If I cut Jar, I cut Tinker with it. Maybe it's just Hercule's Recall. Like, I brought in real counter spells. Like, Hercule's Recall is basically counterspell in this matchup. It counters PO, or it can ramp you a little bit. Alright, I'm into this configuration. I don't want Defense Grid, because I do want to fight over their POs. We were also in a mull to 4 last game, worth noting. I'm going to keep this. I'm just going to try to set up a good Windfall here. Mox Sapphire. I could Brainstorm now, or I could just wait. I'll hold off on Brainstorm. I might need to cast Flusterstorm and pitch a blue card, and then I'll still want a Windfall. Windfall's sketchy, though. Like, if they just dump their hand, if they just have, like, 4 Moxes or whatever right now, it's not great. Or, like, Narset. Oh, God. Yeah, this is going to be a bad Windfall. Please cast PO. Please cast PO. Alright, I'm going to Brainstorm, then Flusterstorm. Oh, baby. Oh, baby, there she is. Alright, I don't need this other land. And Windfall just got pretty bad. So I'm going to Fluster this. And then I'm going to jam Narset and they're going to die. I guess leaving Bolt in to pressure their Narsets, if they have them, is probably a good reason to keep Bolt in the matchup. Maybe I'll bring Bolt back in on the draw. Because I gotta actually kill that thing somehow. Caracas doesn't hit it. Alright, we even have Probe. I'm actually going to hold on to the Probe as Force of Will blue card bait. Because it's more important that Narset resolves than anything else. Alright, let's hope they don't have two of these. We were pretty sure they had one based on the way they played that hand. Okay, they have another one. Like, they just did like the life total decrease thing. Wow, that was pretty insane. Their hand was just like literal turn 1 PO force. Okay, they're Hellbent, but they have a top and basically infinite mana, and we are basically Hellbent because we don't want tendrils in our hand. That sucks. Repeal, preordain. Alright, so we're behind somehow. We went from way ahead to way behind immediately. Off that double Force of Will. I'm going to hold on to that. The old main phase top activation. I guess they already knew what their top three were. Yeah, if they dig into a PO, we're in all sorts of trouble. We need an Ancestral Recall or a Draw 7. Or a Demonic Tutor. Demonic Tutor has secret alternate text on it that says Ancestral Recall. Is Ancestral the best card? It's gotta be, right? Like, I can't play a long game where I try to Narset next turn. Yeah. Let's go. They have one card in hand. Hope it's not Misstep. Alright, it wasn't Misstep. Storm is 2, 3, 4, 5. I can tendrils them for 12. That's not going to do it, though. Windfall helps them more than it helps me. Alright, I'm just going to hold all these cards. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, tendrils is not good enough. I could Windfall for 1. That's... Windfall is an awkward one in this mirror. Maybe I should board out Windfall. I would certainly rather have Tinker in this situation than Windfall. Payoff. Alright, that's not helping. They're miles away from this library, though, so that's good. They have so much mana. Though, worth noting, I'm not dead. So, the top 2 cards of their deck they already know about don't kill me, or else they would have killed me last turn. So they are only seeing 1 new card a turn right now, the same as me. But they do get to manipulate those cards, and any cantrip or shuffle effect is like Ancestral Recall at this point for them. Ugh. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, ugh. God, Windfall's so bad. I wish it was Tinker. I guess Tinker wouldn't even help because I would exile my tendrils off the jar, and there's only 1. We're just building up to that natural tendrils right now. It's an end-step PO. God, we're so dead. Oh, it's Dig Through Time. We're still dead. Yeah, I would trade this for basically any card in the deck at random right now. I could cast it and get fresh cards, but it would just cost me a bunch of stuff. Like, I could play out Lotus, Petal, Opal, and then Windfall for 2. But that just gets them deeper. This top is just crushing the parity. Dig Through Time is also a good draw. I don't have a Dig Through Time in my deck. Yep, Gitaxian Probe. My hand's bad. Probe feels bad. Yeah, now they get to know the coast is clear. All right, there's Sylvan Library. Though Probe and Library, they could get themselves into Natural Tendril Zone. Though, now that they know about the tendrils, that plan is a whole lot worse. All right, so I could Windfall for 3 this turn and just try to make something happen, but that'll put my tendrils in the graveyard. I feel like I gotta make something happen. They have top and Sylvan Library. Like I'm gonna play a card here. I might regret this, but 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. Now my tendrils is in the graveyard too, so I have to cast Yogwill to win. Beautiful. Oh, you wanted me to just fire off the tendrils, just the mini drain? Yeah, that didn't work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we needed to find something better there. Like mini tendrils just to make Sylvan Library bad? I guess that's a play. I don't know. Just felt like we were way under the gun and needed to do something, and it just didn't pan out. Like if we draw Narset there, we just crush. If we just Windfall into a Narset or a PO. Yeah, I understand like letting them draw 3 cards is really bad here. That was definitely a desperate play. It was not a play I was happy to make at all. All right, how are we dead? Gorgeous. Pretty sure I have to Force a Will this. Or I have to hope to draw PO next turn and use my force to defend it. All right. We're not winning a game where we play defensively here. Oh, the Bash brothers, they're both here. All right, they have 1 card left. We're not even dead to a Time Walk, necessarily. All right, let's just draw a Paradoxical Outcome and win the game, in spite of ourselves. PO. Shit. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can cast Force. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I can cast Force and Flusterstorm without sacrificing anything. Still going to hold this Mox Emerald, because it's not doing anything in play, and it's an extra storm for the turn I try to go off. 3, 4, 5, 6 on board. If they flip their top, it's 3 more. All right, looks like they don't know how to do that. When you have Mentor or Gorger in play, flipping your top before your draw step just is a guaranteed 1 extra spell, 1 extra prowess. Though it's unlikely to matter. Like, if they can't kill me this turn, they should be embarrassed. Now they're at 2. Yogwill is lethal right off the top. I have not done the math for how many spells they need to cast this turn, but it's not that many. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. All right, they need 2 more spells. They have 2 cards in hand. How about no more spells? No more spells. If they flip their top, they would have me deterministically here. Though activating top also does it. They're in the powerful position of it doesn't fucking matter what they do because we're going to lose. Which is pretty nice. Alright, they figured out how to flip their top. Yeah, we can win with a no Storm Tendrils. That is true. Unfortunately, because these are all triggered abilities, it doesn't matter if I counter anything they do. They just have to cast it. 6, 11. Oh my god. Are they too short? Or are they going to get me with an instant? All right. Come on, deck. Reward me. PO. Fuck. All right. We bricked as hard as possible that game. We could have still won that with a PO. I think we would have got there. Top. Top sees 3. Ah. All right. All right. Whatever. All right. I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick. I will be right back. Oh shit, was there a Krypton play? Whoops. That would have been the epic coin flip. My bad. Did they play Crypt that turn? Because they didn't have it before that turn. Yeah, there is no Snapcaster in the list. This is Power 9's list from the challenge. It is full hero mode, Tendrils of Agony or bust. Here's the list. Yeah, if there was a Krypton play, I definitely should have passed the turn. All right. You're right. Yeah, also the line of mini Tendrils earlier would have paid off. Obviously, hindsight 2020. But they did get to aggressively go to 2 with their what's-its-face library. Yeah, really that game came down to them having a perfect 7. Like their opening hand cast a PO for 4 cards with double Force of Will backup. And we were able to Flusterstorm the PO, but then my Narset, my turn 2 Narset with Force of Will backup just got countered anyway. So we both went to Hellbent, but they had a top and I didn't. This card should have got boarded out. That was not a good card to have in the mirror. Live and learn. I have not played this card in a long time in a real Magic deck. We did get to stone fucking donkey people in round 1. Like the Narset just wrecked opponents. We had a turn 3 Mind Twist refill in game 1. Then we had a turn 1 Mind Twist refill in game 2 of the first match. This is ticking away. We are waiting on a match. I'm not just dancing for your pleasure looking at this deck list. So in the mirror with Narset, like, should I leave in Bolt and assume they have Narset at this point? Or should I make them show it to me? Because I can't remove Narset outside of Lightning Bolt and this Chain of Vapor. Like, that's it. And I guess I brought in the Pyroblast. I'm going to bring in Pyroblast regardless, so I should cut Bolt. That's a cleaner. Bolt would have been the OP top deck that turn, though, with them at 2. Can't believe I missed that Mana Crypt. That would have been so tight, just to steal that game that I bricked on. Narset seems so good, though. I am excited to cast this card in a lot of formats. It might be time to brew up Omnitel again. Just like try to break it. Because Narset is pretty comparable to Dig Through Time, and then she just also has this built-in Leovold clause. I guess she's not, I mean, like, obviously she's not literally Dig Through Time, but like, in a show and tell deck, you need A plus B. So like, looking at 7 cards and picking 2 is very different than looking at 4 cards and picking 1 twice. Because like, one set of 4 might contain the show and tell and the omniscience, and you have to figure it out. Versus like Dig Through Time, you get to know exactly what you're working with. That said, I don't think Narset is ban-worthy in Legacy and restrict-worthy in Vintage, so she's obviously no Dig Through Time. So we just played the mirror, but they were a mirror that was built to go a little longer. Like we're on draw 7s and tendrils. That's it. Like we are a combo deck. They had Mentor, they had Managorger Hydra, they had Sylvan Library. They had a lot of ways to play a longer game that my deck just doesn't know how to do. Yeah, they drew a lot of cards last game. I think we were still alive because we had 2 counter spells that we could cast. Like if we drew PO off the top, or like Narset off the top, dig for something, like dig for a draw 7. Maybe that would have done it. How does any Vintage deck function with Narset in play? Like, I guess Shops gets to keep doing its thing, or like the creature decks. But any blue deck just crumbles with this card in play. Oh, dangerous stuff. Let me see if I can find a list of all the Planeswalkers in the set. Just see if we can get a visual spoiler of all of them and read the stupid abilities they have. All right, here they are. All right, so Karn, big deal. Karn is a one-sided null rod. 4 is a lot of mana, and you can't tap Mishra's Workshop to make this happen because it's not actually an artifact, it's just colorless. Good, worth noting is that 5 minus 2 is 3. So if they cast this thing and immediately try to get an extra card, you can bolt it. Ugin colorless spells you cast cost 2 less. Ugin's pretty dumb. Like, most colorless cards in Vintage already cost 0, though. So it doesn't really give you a lot of bonus. I don't really see this one going off in Eternal Magic. Nicol Bolas God Pharaoh. This thing is like not particularly castable ever. And it's really slow. This is definitely not going to get played in Vintage. In Legacy, there is like a Arena Rector control deck going around that Nicol Bolas, this Nicol Bolas is still worse than the other Nicol Bolas. Like Nicol Bolas, Planeswalker from Conflux, I believe was what he was printed in, is still just a more powerful thing. Creatures and Planeswalker spells have affinity for artifacts. Like, this card basically has no text, and it's a 6-drop. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery, Rail deals 1 damage to target opponent or Planeswalker. And -2 is you can copy a spell. So 4 mana that doesn't win the game on the spot is a lot to ask in Vintage, but like, he just like juices up any sort of aggressive combo. Or even just like in Xerox. Like, if you like cast Ral and then start cantripping, you could reasonably burn your opponent out. Though I don't think it's going to happen. It's still like worse than Dak. and worse than other 4-mana options. Like, I'd probably just rather stick Jace. As long as it's your turn, creatures and planeswalkers you control have lifelink. That doesn't matter. Spells your opponents control can't make you discard or sacrifice. That ability is kind of interesting, but it doesn't really apply in Vintage much. Teferi Time Raveler, this is a big one. Each opponent can only cast spells when they can cast sorceries. So all instants turned off, and +1, you can cast sorceries as if they have flash, and -3 is bounce something, draw a card. So Teferi, there's a lot to like about Teferi. He could be like proactive in a combo deck or reactive in a control deck. So he's good both in and against combo, which is a really interesting place to be. As it's always better if you can cast instants and your opponent can't in any sort of blue deck. Doomsday with Teferi. Yeah, that sounds awkward. You need black, 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 and blue, white. Yeah, it seems rough to get both of them around on the same time. Like, Defense Grid is like mostly the same card. But yeah, Teferi, definitely interesting. I think he's more interesting in Legacy than he is in Vintage. But it's probably playable in both, though we'll see if he turns out to be a staple or not. Probably not. My lukewarm immediate take on Teferi is that he's not going to be an Eternal Magic staple, but he will get played. Angrath, the Captain of Chaos. Creatures have menace. That doesn't affect our formats at all. So Ashiok is kind of interesting. Like, Ashiok, spells and abilities your opponents control can't cause their controller to search their library. So fetch lands, tutors, all of those things. Oh, end of turn Doomsday is fucking nice. Yeah, so fetch lands, tutors, all turned off. And then -1 is mill 4, then exile their graveyard. Mill 4 isn't super relevant, but exile the opponent's graveyard is pretty sweet. So those 4 cards are gone forever. It's just like mill 4, it's gone. Mill 4, it's gone. Meanwhile, they can't search their deck. I don't know really if this is a card that we want, but I could see a control deck playing this as graveyard hate. It would have to be in Vintage, probably. It's like Legacy, it seems too slow. Like, the decks you'd want to do this against, a 3-mana sorcery speed card is not what you want. You want, like, Surgical Extractions. That is probably true non-interactive. Blue cards tend to be the best. Yeah, Pyroblast and Lightning Bolt are both in a hot spot right now. Karn is the one that doesn't die to Pyroblast. Like, if a deck is able to cast Karn reliably, then Pyroblast is not going to get you out of that. Dovin, this is Leyline of Thalia. Like, artifact, instant, and sorcery spells your opponent's cast cost 1 more. So they still get enchantments and planeswalkers, but otherwise this is Thalia Guardian of Thraben, which is a stupid magic card. He doesn't have any other text, though. He's just a 3-mana pseudo-Thalia. Prevent all damage that would be able to and by target permanent and opponent controls. So I guess, like, yeah, it's a one-sided tax. So it's like all of these are one-sided that matter. So it's worth noting that it's one-sided, but like there aren't a lot of permanents in Vintage that we're trying to stop damage from coming from. Like, if they go for a Blightsteel, you get to like ignore it for 5 turns, which is pretty sick. But outside of that, like, shops can go wide or just like throw their counters around on Ravager. Like, this is not going to save you a lot of damage. Mentor doesn't care. Ooh, Managorger Hydra cares a lot. But I don't really see Dovin getting played, though his static ability is one of the better ones. Creatures attack with their butts. Doesn't matter. Your opponent's things and themselves with hexproof can be targeted as though they didn't have hexproof. So are there even any cards that have hexproof that get played in Vintage? Like, Inkwell Leviathan has Shroud, not hexproof, and it doesn't really get played much anymore. We're still working here, by the way. Update. 12.5 minutes in, no opponent yet. And exile target creature. So Kaya barely has any text in Vintage. She also costs 6. She's bananas in Limited, though. So congratulations if you got one of her. Creature related, doesn't matter. Creature related doesn't matter. Oh, it's a Healy. This one might be good. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature token. So this is like Monastery Mentor, but without the prowess. So it's better than Young Pyromancer, because Young Pyromancer only counts instants and sorceries, but worse than Mentor because they don't have prowess. And when I say better and worse, I mean strictly on this triggered ability, not talking about mana cost or permanent type or anything. Target artifact you control becomes a copy of another target artifact or a creature you control until end of turn, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. So if you cast a spell, you get to make a servo. Then you can like turn that servo into a mox if you want to like ramp, or like into a memory jar if you want to just like go 14 deep. So there's some stuff you can do. You can turn a servo into a Blightsteel Colossus. So like there's some stuff you can do with Saheeli. She seems pretty cool. Your creatures have haste, who cares? Whenever a creature you control with Death Touch deals damage to a player planeswalker, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. Alright, who cares? Vraska does not seem good. Gideon is a 4/4 on your turn. It gives other creatures keywords, and you can exile a permanent later. Gideon is not going to get played in Vintage. That is not a good card. Jace is funny. Jace's static ability is Lab Maniac. If you would draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game. So that effect is more relevant than it would seem. Like Lab Maniac does occasionally make it into a deck as a win condition or alternate win condition usually. So I can see, I don't know what deck would want Jace Wielder of Mysteries in Legacy or Vintage, but when somebody builds that deck, I'm going to be really excited to play it because it's going to be an absolute dirtle fest. It's just going to be milling cards and drawing cards, and then you win somehow. You win with Jace. Just watch out for Pyroblast in response to your draw 7. Liliana costs 6. When creatures die, you draw a card. She's pretty powerful, but like not really a Vintage, something Vintage is looking for. Chandra, when loyalty comes off of her, she deals that much damage to an opponent or planeswalker. So that doesn't seem great. She is +1 draw a card, play it this turn only. So it is a card advantage engine. And if your opponent attacks her, she gets to zap back. But that doesn't seem important in Vintage. Oh yeah, the Leveler deck. The Jace Wielder of Mysteries Leveler combo. Sign me up for that deck when it gets built. Tinker into Leveler. Play Jace. I'm in. Alright, Nissa makes your Forest tap for double. But nobody plays Forest in Vintage, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, Nissa is not going to be a Vintage card. Teo is you have hexproof. So, and Teo is more castable than Leyline of Sanctity and more durable than Aegis of the Gods. So Teo might find a spot in sideboards if like you having hexproof becomes an important part of Vintage, but generally Leyline just does that. Like the potential to cost 0, especially with the London Mulligan, is probably higher than being more castable when you draw it. Oh, we've got a match. We'll come back to you, Planeswalkers. Bibendum is my opponent. They won the die roll. We're not very good at die rolls. I never am. If you tune into the stream to see people win die rolls, you're in the wrong place. Though being on the draw is stress testing the London Mulligan. I was warned that the London Mulligan in Vintage heavily favors the person on the play, which I'm willing to believe. But so does the Vintage card pool, no matter what your Mulligan system is. So I'm not going to count that against it yet. We have an Ancestral Recall, and we could protect it with Force of Will. Or we could protect ourselves with Force of Will, and then cast Ancestral Recall. Right. His draw 7 is fine. Like, his activated ability does specifically say you win the game, whether it's in play or not. But if you cast like a Wheel of Fortune with 6 cards in your deck and they Fire Blast your Jason response, then you die. That's what I meant by draw 7. Yeah, his ultimate ability still works, even if he dies. If they had the Pyroblast, they should have probably cast it a little earlier than that. All right, so we're keeping 7. They're on 5 so far. This hand is not stellar against Dredge, if that's what they're doing. They're down to 3. So they're either Dredge or just bricking. All right, conceded. They conceded when they were on 3 cards, so I imagine they're not Dredge. Because Dredge would have gone down to 1. All right, so they're not Dredge. We don't know anything. I suspect they're probably a blue deck. It would not quite be the same. If they try to Pyroblast your Jace in response to your draw 7, it's just like, okay, it's gone. All right, so our opponent mulled to 3 and conceded. They don't know what we're on. I don't know what they're on. They would have kept going to 1 card if they were Dredge, because they only need 1 card. I think they would have gone to at least 2 if they were Shops, like try to just spike the Shop 3-ball. So they're probably a blue deck. I have not tried Bolas' Citadel yet, but I'm super excited to try it. All right, so against a blue deck, I'm going to want Pyroblast and Flusterstorm. I may or may not want Lightning Bolt. I'll cut a Hercules Recall. Just hope they're not Shops, because I'm boarding totally wrong if they're Shops. I will ditch the Windfall, just in case they're the mirror. And Lotus Petal, Mox Opal. I'll cut one of the opals. Yeah, I have no idea what they're doing. This is just like totally dark. Hope it works. All right, we have another great hand. We can't Tinker on turn 1, unfortunately, because this is not a real Mox. We do have Force of Will, an extraneous blue card, and a PO. Though the PO is not good. Depending on what they do, PO might actually be the pitch to force. Like, I need a real Mox to Tinker. If I can turn 1 Tinker and put Jar into play, I will. And then I'll crack it in my next upkeep. All right, I'm going to keep this. I still don't know what they're doing. We're about to find out. They kept 7, though. All right, they're a deck that contains Lotus Petal and Ghost Quarter. What the fuck? Is this some sort of like lands deck or Merit Lage? Chalice on 0. All right, I have a Herx, so I'll let him have that. The old Lotus Petal Chalice on 0 deck, whatever that is. Fetch land? Fetch land? A fetch land lets me play around Ghost Quarter for a turn. which I'm a big fan of. That's not a fetch land. All right, I'll ram out this Underground Sea. They can quarter it. I have basics, and they'll be down a land. I just have to hope they don't have a wasteland too. If they ghost quarter me, I can even herc them this turn. Though that wouldn't make any sense for them to do that. Shit. Alright, we have lots of lands in hand. We're not dead yet. I would really like a fetch land, though. Okay, sweet. Mana Vault gets the train rolling. What a weird deck. This has to be a loam deck, right? But what is Lotus Petal doing in there? I have no idea what's going on. They just keep two terrible hands in a row. Alright, sweet. The legendary fetch land. So, what can I do here? Alright, I think I'm just going to end step Hercule's Recall and then win somehow. That's the plan. I can PO for 2 and then also Tinker next turn. Ancient Tomb. Alright, what do you got? Show me your moves. Lodestone Golem would be annoying. Thought Not Seer would be annoying. This game has been really weird. I feel like they're just going to combo me somehow, but they have Chalice on 0. I hope that their hand is just 2 Moxen that they drew on turn 2 and 3. And they clearly drew this turn because they played this on turn 2 and made no land drop turn 3. So Ancient Tomb was the draw. And they've drawn 2 cards since playing this Chalice. I still have this Force of Will, so I'm ready. I think Force has to pitch Tinker, though. Because I can PO for 2. Goblin Rabblemaster. Do I even care? What does this card do? So I could PO for 2, then Tinker. This thing's going to attack me for a couple damage along the way. Alright, fine. Hopefully they don't get another turn and none of this matters. Yeah, hardcast the Force of Will. Deny myself 3 mana. That's not the play, I promise. Alright, let's draw a Mox and just make this easy. I would also accept a Sensei's Top. Easy Mox? Easy Mox? Mox Opal? Ponder. Let's see. So, if I Ponder, I can still PO for the same number. Let's have a look. Finding a Mox here just gets me so many cards. Oh, Mental Misstep. Sure. Yeah, fine. Alright, so their deck contains Mental Misstep, we've learned. One, two, three, four. PO for 2. Does their deck also contain Force of Will? Because that would be lame. They're ghost quartering their own land. They must have like Island Flusterstorm coming. Oh, Red Blast. All right, so now the question is, do I care? Like, they're going to redeploy the Chalice on 0 next turn. So do I think my better chance of winning this game is to draw 2 right now or to cast Tinker next turn? Blightsteel's in the board. Like, I have to Tinker for a Jar, and they have... I think I have to force this right now. Because I already played my only Hercs. All right. Not super helpful. I do get to play out my fast mana, though, before they redeploy the Chalice. Yeah, if we had Bolas' Citadel, we could have tinkered for that 100 years ago and just won. All right, so now Rebel Master's actually scary. How about one of Lightning Bolt? Though in all seriousness, I would definitely rather draw PO than Lightning Bolt. Counter Chalice? I can't. There's only targets instants and sorceries. Yeah, if I had Spell Pierce, I would have snapped it right off, but I do not. And I believe I'm on a... Alright, I haven't done Rabble Master Math in a while. I take 6 this turn, I take 8 next turn. Alright, so I have 2 more draw steps, theoretically. PO? Sol Ring. Alright, I'll take a Sol Ring. Are they doing something in my draw step? Alright, Sol Ring's in play. Alright, we gotta draw a good one next turn. The fuck is this? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Got him! That was exactly lethal, that lightning bolt. Thank you, Flusterstorm. Flusterstorm is going straight out of the deck, though. Actually, Flusterstorm might still be good, because they showed us Pyroblast and Misstep. Oh no, Spirit Guide. Is this Null Rod? We're definitely dead to Null Rod. Yeah, we know 100% that their hand is 3 Moxen. Shattering Spray, butts. For 2. That should remove most of our outs, I think. You're dead. You're dead. We don't need to float mana. There's nothing to bluff. Alright, so best draw is Yogwill, I guess. And then we sideboard correctly. They were smart to concede. I definitely did everything wrong. Oh, Pyroblast. Including having Pyroblast in my deck. That's not a good one. Alright, that's the power of conceding to not give away information. Pyroblast out. The second Flusterstorm out. Misstep's probably good. Hurkyl's Recall is going to be something I want. Probably not in those huge numbers, though. And I do want Blightsteel to go with my Tinker. And Chain of Vapor also seems good. They also had Strip Mines and Ghost Quarters, so let's work these, at least one of these islands in somewhere. Narset doesn't seem great in this matchup for the first time. She still combos with our draw 7s, but like doesn't actually do anything to the opponent. Do we think this is enough Hurkyl's Recalls? Like, this is definitely a Null Rod deck, right? Yeah, I also like Windfall, but for sure not in this matchup. I think the rest of this stuff is fine. Or Do we want another Herc over the Fluster? Probably. Alright, let's do it. Alright, let's just go broken. That's not broken. This is a turn 1 top and spin it and force backup, though. I think this hand is solid enough. It also has a basic land to dodge Wastelands or Blood Moon. I don't know if they are a Blood Moon deck, but if there is a deck that plays Blood Moon, it's this one. The awkward part is whether I Fluster Store or Force of Will a misstep on this top, because this hand is kind of all in on top. Alright, they're on 5. They're looking for something specific. Probably a playable hand is the answer to that. So I'm going to cast Emerald, then Top, and then Pearl, so I don't get my top Mind Break trapped. I probably should have mulliganed more aggressively. Like these like prison decks, being on the draw, just slamming against them is probably a better plan than trying to play the control game. Whoa! The good news is they're on 4 cards in their hand. They mulled to 5. Alright, yeah, they mulled to 5 and put Gemstone into play, and Gemstone requires them to exile a card. So, there's all that. They have 3 cards. Let's beat them. Don't misstep me, bro. Fuck, hard choices now. I'm gonna let that go. They have 2 cards left. Let's hope a Hercules Recall and Force of Will can beat them. Though with the London Mulligan, their 2 cards left are whatever 2 they wanted. Like, it's not like they just have nothing. I lied. Paradoxical Outcome, that's a good Magic card. Alright, well, I will totally Force of Will the Pyroblast that's coming here. That's why we're here, Force of Will. Get him. Just hope this actually does anything. Kinda. So they don't have Chalice, so they would have played it. I don't want to just run all these out into Shattering Spree. Though I definitely don't want to get Chaliced either. I don't care about a Sphere because I can just play through that. I'm only worried about exactly Chalice. Maybe I'll play out one of them. Though that makes Shattering Spree on 1 a good play. Alright, I'm just going to pass. And hope to draw 7, win the game card next turn. Do they just keep 2 Pyroblasts? Like, what's even in their hand right now? Alright, I'll run out the 1 Emerald. Give them a little bait. Now I'm a little worried. Like, what's going to happen to me when they find a second Mana Source? Do I just lose? It's got to be Spheres, right? Spheres or Pyroblasts? Alright, this looks like a Shattering Spree. God, what a weird play. Alright, yeah, there's the Shattering Spree. We got that out. Perfect. I love when our busted combo deck just bricks off against an opponent doing nothing. But that is part of the danger of PO. Like, the deck is full of air. Like, you need a lot of air to make the rest of the deck function. Painter Servant. Shit. Alright. We're dead. We're not actually dead. It's fine. Yogwill. That's a card I like. Alright, let's hope they don't have some way to kill me. Alright, so I could cast the Yogwill first, or crack the Lotus, cast Will, which plays around Mindbreak Trap on the Will, but it doesn't play around Mindbreak Trap on the PO. Oh wait, my whole hand is blue, so I can cast Force of Will. Alright. Playing around Mindbreak Trap here. Alright, so Emerald come back. Lotus come back. Oh, I'm not going to play a different land because Academy's in my hand. Like, I'm not going to make a land drop that isn't Academy when Academy's an option. It's like 0% on that one. All right, Mental Misstep. That I don't care about. All right, so now the decision. All right, I'm going to play the Pearl. And then I'm going to cast the PO. And I'm going to hold back the Academy in case I need to pitch a blue card, but I really fucking hope I don't. Alright, I didn't have to. But that didn't really go anywhere. But I have Narset, so life goes on. And now I have lots of blue cards to pitch to this Force. Alright, so I'm going to play Academy and Narset. Then Narset's going to minus into something that wins the game on the spot. I hope. Lightning Bolt is still in my deck. I would like to remove this Painter Servant this turn. Blue, blue, blue. I'll leave a blue floating because there are no green cards in my deck. Alright, girl. Find me something good. Brainstorm. Alright. I've drawn worse cards. That's more. I kept this fetch land on purpose. Alright, so we get to re-Narset. And then get another look. And I still don't have to bust Lotus yet, because Opal taps for blue. I'm just looking for a draw 7 off of all this. Backup Narset. I would like to keep this one. You know, it would suck really hard if we just lose to Grindstone next turn after doing all this. I'm not a fan of that. Time Walk is the best I can do. That sucks. Alright, I'll take Time Walk. Alright, so serious question for serious people. Do I crack my Lotus to Time Walk? I guess I do, right? Like, why give him a chance? Yeah. I guess I have plenty going on. Yeah, Time Walk sees 5 cards. Well, it was a question of like their play has been pretty anemic this whole game. Whoa. Well, folks, off we go. So like it was just like a calculated risk of do I want to like do more with more resources and give them a turn to maybe do something, or just like do more dumb shit now. And the answer in Vintage is usually do more dumb shit now, but it's my job on stream to think about things out loud. Jar. All right, let's jar. They get to draw 1 card, and I get to draw a zillion billion. Oh good, Blightsteel Colossus, just what I needed. All right, there's already a Mox Opal, now there's a Lotus Petal. My opponent said GG but didn't concede, so I don't want to like GG them back yet. I also got to remember... Alright, they actually conceded now. Alright, yeah. I was going to say, I got to remember that I'm losing that hand. So, like, in case that didn't have a deterministic win in it, I had to, like, be careful. Like, I probably don't want to Narset a card into a hand that's going away. Winged Hussar. Ooh, this is the world-famous trophy leader, Winged Hussar. And this hand is straight buttholes. It's already a 5. Cardholic, is that the person I just played against? Or is that the person before them? I can't look right now. So this hand does not have blue mana, but it does have Force of Will, and it can cast Top. I'll keep this. I'm going to bin the Narset, because I think my plan is to top, use Force Pitching Windfall. My opponent plays Dredge. They're a known Dredge wizard. Oh yeah, you told me that earlier. It's true. You're right. Alright, known Dredge wizard, Winged Hussar. Does Narset stop Bazaar? Like, there's 2 replacement effects. One that Narset is if you would draw a card, don't. Or they can't draw more than 1. So, like, they can still dredge 1, right? But not 2? Right? Is that how that works? Alright, so I gotta play for speed here. I'm gonna look for a Black Lotus. Windfall is super dangerous against Dredge, let me tell you. Alright, I'm excited to find this blue man on top of my deck, though. Okay, so the replacement effect of Dredge does not override the replacement effect of don't draw a card, because don't draw a card wins. Right? Or something. Dredging does not count as a draw. So they would have to actually try to draw, and then Narset says no. It doesn't, Narset doesn't stop them from drawing in the first place. Okay, so Dredge and Don't Draw are both replacement effects. Chalice on 0, what an asshole. Well, I don't have a backup plan here. Windfall's an easy pitch. Wow, fuck, 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 fuck. We're dead. So our dredge opponent kept 7, had Chalice of the Void with force backup before they even activated their Bazaar. Straight into Unmask. Wow, no wonder they're the trophy leader. Fucking savage. That was some shit. I would also be the trophy leader if I could draw like that. Alright. This is kind of shitty because, like, I am going to need the Hercules recall, but, like, I also need to draw cards that matter. Alright, maybe we can still... We'll see what this turn looks like. We might just die. Yeah, King of the Salt. Salt King Koval. The trophy leader is showing me why they're winning. Ew. I've never seen anyone actually play this art before. Cabal Therapy. I bet they're gonna miss. I also bet it doesn't matter. Alright, yeah. Oh, I would have lost the bet. They named themselves. Alright. Do they have... They're just making 6 zombies, I guess? Alright, so 6 is 12, 1 Icarid, that's 15. Trying to determine if I have a window to draw this Hercules recall or not. Probably not. Maybe I can deck them with a draw 7. That's the new plan. Alright, there's an Ancestral Recall. Let the games begin. Yeah, Ancestral is how this turn starts. Like, if a comeback is going to happen, this is where it comes from. Ooh. Now I'm 1 mana short. Alright. They also have Chalice in play. Gotta remember that. Time Walk, huh? So if I cast... So this is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. If they hit 1 more Icarid in their top 12 cards, I lose. So... I can flip top, cast Time Walk. What does that even do? I get a turn no matter what? That's not true, right? 12 plus 6 is 18. Like, they already have 1 Icarid in the graveyard. If they hit 1 more... No, they already have 12 power, and if they put 6 more, that's 18, and that's my life total. Icarid won't trigger? Oh, do they have a Stinkweed imp? Oh, yeah. Right, they look for black cards, not the Icarid itself. Alright. Figuring out this vintage thing, 1 turn at a time. Alright, you're right. Alright, so I gotta beat a Dread Return. So... Time Walk or Vamp Tutor. So if I... It sucks that I have this fetch land and not a regular land, because I'm going to have to Herx this. Yeah. They certainly have ways to kill me. They also have a therapy. They've cast 2 already. There's 1 more in the deck. So my outs are, I have to get this Chalice out of play. If I Vamp Tutor, what do I Vamp Tutor for? Like Vamp Tutor for Black Lotus? Well, does that even help? Vamp Tutor for Wheel of Fortune? Does that do it? That might be my best chance. Vamp Tutor for Wheel. So I play my land, flip my top, Hurkles them, Vamp Tutor for Wheel of Fortune, and then hope for the best. All right, that's the line. I'm sticking to it. They're almost certainly going to therapy naming Pio, though. Oh shit, this fetch land plus Vamp does 3 to me. Yeah, Gutter Shark, we reached that conclusion at the same time. So, all right, I just fucked my own line here. So, I think I Hurkles them here to get this out of their hand, right? So I don't flip my top. All right, I'm gonna Hurkles them here. Since they're Hellbent, that gets rid of the Chalice. I have Mox Ruby in play. I won't need 2 red, but I might need 2 black. Yeah, that sucked. I should have thought that the Vamp Tutor kills me, so I can't actually take the line I wanted to take. Having top in play is better than any of those cards now. Now I hope I don't die to some stupid legend. Which is totally possible. Icarid's Prized Amalgam. Alright, none of these things kill me. There's no Dread Return. Let's see if they blind name the PO, which they probably should. Sucks that it's in my hand, even though that is the best card that could be in my hand, which is why they would name it. Yeah, like most of the opponent's deck is accounted for here. All right, goodbye, PO. Having the perfect card is actually a mistake here. Yep. Oh, wait. They named Tinker. We're still alive. All right. So you're saying there's a chance. All right, folks. Mox. Oh, my God. Please, RNGesus, bless us. Bless us here today. All right, we get to draw 4 cards. See what happens. Tendrils. All right, so we get to look with top again. We can still find tendrils and win. All right, what does this do? So, Mox Emerald, Narset, Merchant Scroll. Merchant Scroll can find I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. It can become more, but I lose blue. Hercules nets 1 mana, right? Alright, so... yeah, Herc Self, draw a scroll, get PO. That is the plan. Alright, here's my land. Draw a card in response. Herc myself. Scroll can't get Twister. It only gets instants. Twister is a sorcery. Boom. 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 Blue, blue, blue. Get PO. I cannot work my top back in here. Not yet, anyway. Ugh. We're running out of outs here, team. Brainstorm is better? I guess that's true. We don't have a blue floating. Can't make blue. We almost had the party going. Used our land drop. All right, they win. That was lame. Yeah, dig was not in the deck. Yeah, this deck does not have a dig. All right, so Tormod scripts come in. I probably want Defense Grid, right? Against Pitch Dredge? Or is Flusterstorm just better? Yeah, PO for 2 is mega awkward. I didn't actually count if I could get my top into play or not, because that would have drawn 4 instead of 2. That's what I get for poor planning. All right, Hercules Recalls are out. Lightning Bolt is out. I like the Flusterstorms. I like the Forces. Tinker for Blightsteel is a plan, I guess, against Dredge. Having a backup win con seems important. Alright, what's two? The Windfall is not a card I want to play against Dredge. Neither is Wheel of Fortune, really. But with Narset, it's pretty good. Is Narset too slow, or is Narset great? Narset's probably a little slow. And gotta get rid of one more of these cards. Jar's Probe. I don't know, like all the draw 7s are really awkward. Though they're also my backup win conditions when they go to 6 cards in their deck. Mental Misstep? You think Grid is good? Alright, then what are the cuts? Is it more Narsets? Alright, yeah, Grid is in. All right, Misstep can probably eat a dick. Better than Fluster? Alright, Fluster's out. Narset's fine, alright. I'm going to present this deck as it stands. Built for speed. Hey, can this configuration answer a Chalice? It cannot. Do I need this chain? Ugh. Too late. Please don't have Chalice. Off we go. I also like chain. I just couldn't figure it out fast enough. This hand. With any Mox, I snap this hand right the fuck off, but I don't have a Mox. Now this hand goes nowhere fast. I'm going to ship it. This hand has a turn 1 defense grid, but like it cost me my mana vault to do it. I have a turn 2 Twister. I also like the plan of making them dead before they have a game action, though I'm not sure if I can get there. Twister is really good against Dredge, but only if you can turn 1 it, which I can't. This hand also isn't good, unfortunately. Alright, I'm going to go to 5. Alright, I'm going to try this. It has Ancestral Recall. Alright, looks like we're both on 5. I got to get rid of 2. I'll get rid of this land and this land. I'm going to see if I can bait a misstep with the top. Though, all right, so this is tricky because if I lead with top, all right, it's not tricky. I'll just Ancestral in their upkeep. I was going to say I can bait out a misstep, but then I play into Mindbreak Trap. All right, now I can play around both. So I'm going to Ancestral in their upkeep. Ugh. All right. We're softer to unmask than I want to be. All right, maybe I was too clever there. Like, should I have just jammed, or do I play around the Mindbreak Trap? Oh, tricky stuff. Dredge is hard. All right, let's hope this top saves us. Yeah, they have 4 of both, and like, when they didn't misstep me, I figured it was likely they might have. I'll agree with that assessment, Mormagil. What's up, Kelly Furtado? Defense Grid, Mox, Ruby, Narset. So I could just flip my top and cast Narset this turn. Or I could shuffle and do something else. All right, yeah, let's cast Narset. Yeah, like if their last card in hand is Force Blue card, then they're Hellbent, and this line doesn't get Mindbreak Trap because I've only cast 2 spells. Minusing Narset plays straight into Cabal Therapy though. So like unless I find a Tormod's Crypt off of her. I'm gonna get a second Underground Sea because I have Mox Ruby and I don't have many red cards. So I probably should minus looking for Tormod's Crypt. Got there. All right, let's see if they got a Mindbreak Trap. They totally had it. They never didn't have it. All right, whatever. They know I have PO in my hand too, so if they can flip this, cast this Cabal Therapy, I'm boned. Then I can re-Narset, I guess. They have 6 more looks. Wow, did they miss? They can't Cabal Therapy. Oh, baby. We might have a game. All right, Narset, let's take a look. A Mox is pretty great here. And their last card in hand is a Grave Troll, so we know we're safe. Alright, so D-Tutor is whatever I want. Or Mox Opal is an extra card. So I could just like D-Tutor for a crypt to make sure I don't lose, or I could Mox Opal and just try to win. Yeah, Chubby Rain, I'm thinking the same thing here. Alright. Chat is saying crypt. Chat's usually pretty smart. I'll listen. Tor Mods Crypt, where are you? There are 2 more in the deck. Alright, so now we're okay. Oh shit, there's Icarids. I just bomb now, right? They get to Bazaar in response, but I don't care. Like, I don't want these Icarids in play. Yeah, get out of here. I want to be able to pick up my Narset with PO next turn. Alright, they get one dredge off their Grave Troll. Oh, Narset shut him down. Nice. My girl. Alright, so now we PO picking up Narset. Oh, that was like one of the best possible draws. Wow, I have 10 minutes left on my clock. I took forever tanking that game 1. Alright, I gotta play faster. Timing out against Dredge would be the worst. Alright, now they're in the tank with their Hellbent status. Come on, opponent, F6, let's get this done. Boop, 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 boop. Pick up these 4. Wow, look at all these cards. This card, this card. I can cast so many Narsets this turn, it's disgusting. Let's look at their hand. It's empty. Got it. Nice. So I think I'm not going to Narset before I PO. Like, this is just a free PO. Alright, another PO has arrived. And a scroll for the last PO. We should be able to win the game from here, I hope. I have Academy in hand. Floating lots of black so I can tendrils when we get there. Alright, so scroll for another PO. Should be 1 left. There's only 2 blue instants left in my old deck. That's great. Maybe I should Narset before this one. Like, this is my last PO. Now I want to draw more before I Academy. Alright, can I cast Blightsteel and Time Walk? Probably. Academy. Vault. Crypt. Top is free. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, yeah, we're good. 8, 12, yeah. Covered. Yeah, don't count, just tap. That's how vintage works. Walk this way. All right, I'm not going to take any more game actions because I'm on the clock. Yeah. No. Our opponent is a tight Magic Online player, making me click through 3 minutes of things when I'm down on clock. Yeah, don't count, just tap. Well, they have 0 Swords of Plowshares because they're Hellbent. So we're safe from that. Maybe they went to make food. Maybe we can get our 10 minutes back here. They did fight through the first 2 Tormod's Crypts, and they had to brick really hard on their Dredge 12 for us to get by that game. So, chat, what do we think? Like that turn 1 where I played around Mindbreak Trap, I think that's got to be correct, right? Like after they didn't have the misstep. Or do I just play around Mindbreak Trap whether they had misstep or not? Like if they just misstep my top, I don't just jam the Ancestral that turn, right? I just pass. Though I probably should have end-stepped the Ancestral, or at least... No, that's all wrong. Like, I don't want them to draw a misstep when I know they don't have one. All right, boom. All right, I'm going to use this 3 minutes of sideboarding to pee, but we want Chain of Vapor in the deck. Tell me what I'm cutting. All right, I hear it cut Caracas. I'm a fan. They have not shown me that they have any legends. All right, this should be good. So we have 1 out till we resolved Chalice. All right, let's do it. Let's draw many Tormod's Crypts and show them the door. May they mull to 3 and me to 7. RN Jesus, praise unto you. Last weekend was Orthodox Easter. Is RN Jesus Orthodox or regular? Do we know? All right, we have a Crypt. Is this hand playable? Like it has Crypt, but it's not going anywhere else. All right, they're already on 6. I have a Force, a land, a Crypt, but like not really anything else. Ugh. Oh, this hand's so bad. So bad. I got to mulligan this, right? Uh, 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 uh. Yeah, okay. Mulligan. All right, this hand is Force of Will, but it's doesn't do anything. All right, another. Is that mull for this hand or the last one? All right, they serum powdered. One unmask is gone. They're on 5. Go to 5. All right, this is a hand, right? I'm keeping this one. All right, so basic island and polluted delta go away. Polluted delta I need for the will. All right, fuck it. This is the play. I hope we're not dead. All right, they're on 3. Yeah, the London Mulligan is pretty powerful, but I am worried that my opponent also gets the London Mulligan. They're on 2. So Unmask is no longer live. We're not getting unmasked. So we can breathe a sigh of relief for that. The bad news is we got 6 minutes to make this clunker work. Okay, good thing I brought in Chain, because, shit. Wow, that was, look at that 2-card hand. Oh, perfect. The second Mox Opal. That's what I wanted. If that Mox that I just drew was any other Mox, we would have just won the game. Yep, I cannot crypt them. All right. They've bricked on Dredgers so far. Come on, any Mox. Any non-Opal Mox. You'd even take a Lotus Petal. Chain of Vapor! Ah! Ha ha ha! Get wrecked, opponent. We're going to get him with that. Just wait. Wow, they keep bricking. Life just keeps getting better and better here. 5 minutes on the clock. Come on, any Mox. All right, Lotus Petal. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boop, boop, boop. P.O. Town. Mayor of P.O. Town is me. All right. Now I can detutor for what? Maybe I want that for Tendrils next turn. Oh god, I can't think this fast. DT for Narset? Can I cast her? Okay. I guess I don't have to. DT for Narset. Alright, I have Narset now. Alright, there's a Grave Troll. It hit a Narcomoeba, Cabal Therapy. I can Therapy and have 1 bridge. I could clear this out right now. I think I want to do this, right? But that turns off everything. Alright. I gotta play faster. Oh shit, 2 amalgams. I definitely gotta do this. Wait, do I care about amalgam? Maybe I don't. Alright. Oh shit, never mind, he says. Too late. I'm trying to play fast. Alright, what are they gonna therapy? Like, they're not gonna pick the right thing, right? Alright. I guess I need to chain in response, though, right? Like, if they name chain, I just lose. Alright, fuck it. They're not going to name chain. And I have the Yogg Will. We got this. They named Tinker. Alright, we're safe. We live to play another turn. Alright, here's these fucking amalgams that we could have avoided. We're going big. Don't have enough time to think about any of this. So I can Narset, then wheel. Is that even good? Top is free, so I should slow my roll. Top. Yeah, thinking is hard. Guess I chain this thing now. They could sack their Bazaar to bounce one of my things. I wouldn't be mad. If I lose this game, it's because there's 3 minutes on my clock. Like, I cannot make this work. I'm such a dumbass. It's unbelievable. All right, what are they in the tank about now? Yeah, slow my Bosch and roll. Yeah, do not snort the Lucky Charms. That's what I'm doing right now. All right, I have Yogwill in my hand. That's what I should do this turn. Nothing to do with Wheel of Fortune. I can wheel next turn, maybe? I have no idea. My opponent's being really generous, giving me lots of time to think, though. All right, they did not sack the Bazaar, to the surprise of no one. All right, so I can crypt them, then will. Oh, God. I'll win this turn, don't worry. All right. If you say so. All right. Crypt you. Mox Opal, Yogwill. Yeah, yes. Play the second Opal before the will, for sure. Then I can PO for a bunch. They're icing me over there. They're just making me sweat between every priority pass. Yeah, I have lots of mana. Time to click real fast. Keep this one. Make black mana with this. Yogwill. Petal, Crypt, PO, pick up all my things. Storm is 4, they're at 20. So, Petal, Crypt, Storm is 5. PO, draw landmarks, chain for mana, if necessary, DT for tendrils. All right, we got a plan. Crypt. Make blue. PO. Oh shit, gotta tap my top. Fuck. Can I just chain? Probably. We don't have time to make these high-level plays right now. I'm just clicking wildly. We drew tendrils though, so we win. Easy mode. All right, and we don't even care about Mindbreak Trap because we have Force of Will. Storm is 12. You make black. You make black. You make 2. And get out of here. Please don't have 2 Mindbreak Traps. We know one of the cards in hand is a Dredger, right? That's just a fact. Or are we getting double trapped here? Grave Troll and Leyline. Oh yeah, yeah, we did know that. Trophy leader, my foot. Thanks for hanging out, Chubby Rain. Enjoy your dinner. Oh. Vintage is hard, folks. The problem was that we tanked forever in that game one that we couldn't really win. And we just wasted a lot of time. Like, the sideboard games were both pretty easy. Though, how about that London mulligan? My opponent mulliganed to 2, and his cards were White Leyline Bazaar. So, like, there's the London mulligan for you. That was a good representative of that. All right, I'm going to refill my drink, and then we're going to play the last round. I'll be right back. All right, let's do this shit. 4-1 hype. Let's go. We're locked for a pity chest. Now it's time to get some actual profit. All right, so far we beat Xerox, we lost to Sylvan PO, and we beat Red Prison, and we beat Dredge. All right, so we were talking about Planeswalkers. While we wait for the finals, let's pull those guys back up. Those guys and girls and non-binary individuals. Ashiok, specifically. All right, so we just talked about Teo. This is like a white ley line that you can cast, but you can't shit in for 0. And it's more durable than Aegis of the Gods. It doesn't get Pyroclasm, doesn't get bolted. It does get bolted if you make a 0/3 wall, but you should probably just never do that. I don't know what matchup you would want both Hexproof and a 0/3 wall in. Maybe Burn? I don't know. Whatever. Alright, Cassima, Enigmatic Mentor. She's a 4-drop for starters, so she's already got the bar a lot higher than the 3-drops. Spells your opponents cast that target a creature or planeswalker you control cost 2 more to cast. -2, make a 2/2 wizard and loot. She does not seem great. Not at 4 anyway. Like, a planeswalker that puts an actual win condition into play, a 2/2 wizard and loots, is pretty strong. The static ability is basically no text at all, but like 4 is too much for this card. Davriel, Rogue Shadow Mage. This is the rack. That's pretty great. It is both the rack and part of Liliana of the Veil. Like, not the good part. So at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, if they have 1 or fewer cards in hand, Davriel, Rogue Shadow Mage deals 2 damage to them, and -1 discard a card. So Davriel can arrive and just like boop boop, hit them twice. It can hit them 3 times if you don't care about the static ability. But if you are a rack deck of some kind, you probably want them to stay in play. This is one of the ones that's good in multiples. Though I guess all the ones that just go down are good in multiples. Because like you just down, replace them with a new one, and then continue the madness. This is probably not a vintage playable effect, but if you're in some sort of rack deck, like if you're living your best life and mono black rack is where you ended up, you might want a Davriel or 2. Sarkhan the Masterless. Whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, each dragon you control deals 1 damage to that creature. All right, so you need some dragons for him to do anything. Then, until end of turn, each planeswalker you control becomes a 4/4 dragon creature and gains flying. So his +1 turns planeswalkers into dragons. Van Wedge, I hope your deck is full of dragons. So the +1's really interesting because it turns all planeswalkers you control into 4/4 dragons. Tamiyo doesn't do anything. We talked about her earlier and dismissed her immediately. All right, so Tamiyo is spells and abilities your opponents control can't make you discard or sacrifice. And the +1, get ready for this. Choose a non-land card name, reveal the top 4 cards of your library, put all cards with that name among them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. So in Vintage, when your deck is full of restricted cards, you get to name one and then mill 3 and put it in your hand. Like that, this is not... The plus basically is no text. The static ability is basically no text, and the -3 is regrowth. And you only get 1 because she starts at 5 loyalty. Tamiyo does combine with Sensei's Top. It's just like, meh. It's all pretty meh. For 4 mana, like, if this Planeswalker cost like 3 and started with, and the minus ability cost 2, then maybe it would be playable. Like if it costs 3 and you get 2 regrowths out of it. But as it stands, this is just a 4 mana regrowth. Yeah, it does stop Cabal Therapy and Unmask, but guess how much those cards cost? 1 and 0, respectively. So Tamiyo is not going to be in play in time for you to stop any of that from happening. So, sorry, Tamiyo. I would choose Leyline of Sanctity over this card. All right, where were we? Sarkhan. Oh yeah, that's kind of like Wood Sage. Wood Sage only hits creatures, though. All right, we have an opponent. 4/1 hype, let's go. Oh no, we're playing against the Power 9. He knows exactly what we're doing. He's very smart. This is his deck. All right, this could be a 75 card mirror, or he could be brewing something wild without us. I'm not keeping a hand that has Gitaxian Probe and no other cards. Ugh. This is so close to playable. And by so close, I mean not even a little bit. All right, I gotta go lower. This one has a turn 2 PO, turn 1 top. I'll keep this. I have to get rid of 2 of these. Hurkyl's Recall's leaving. And is Narset the bad card here? Like, do I just have to clench my cheeks and hope this PO works? I think I do. Yeah, all right. All in on PO. And we're on the draw, so that's good. That means he gets to kill us or set up long before we get to do anything. And he knows what we're up to. How are we dead? In what ways? That's reasonable. Get it? Looking for the turn 1 Narset. And I guess top looks at a lot of things. And I have a lot more mana sources than Narsets in my deck. So, okay. I would believe that bottoming Karakas is the right play there. All right, he did not shuffle. Continues doing all sorts of shit. All right, top. Well, we didn't die. That's good news. He knew exactly what we were playing, though. So, like, if there was a misstep or force in a 6-card hand. Stu, Aaron is out of control. Aaron was madder than anyone when someone spoiled something in Infinity War for him, like 6 months ago. And then last night he's just like, oh, baby. He's just like aggressively spoiling Game of Thrones for everyone. All right, let's see if we can bait out a misstep or counterspell on this top. Skadoosh. Did you have it? Didn't have it. Let's have a look. I would like to find a Force of Will on top of my deck. Flusterstorm is even better. Oh, backup PO. That's awesome if we get another turn. It's pretty bad if we don't. All right, I'll just run that out there and hope we get a turn. I've already made my land drop, so I can't shuffle and look for a Force of Will. Yeah, hoping. There's a lot of hoping in Vintage. Oh shit, are we dead? I'm not ready for this. Oh no, we're so dead. Let's hope he plays a little conservatively and doesn't jam the Time Vault here. Or maybe he just doesn't have it. Like, come on. You're 10 cards into your deck. You can't have both halves, right? That's what people who are dead say. All right, he's in the tank. He's thinking really hard. Shit, going for it. Okay, it's a PO. It's not the Time Vault. Yet. Yeah, I don't have an answer to that either. Please don't kill me. Don't make me dead. Yeah, also rawr. Sensei's top is back. Oh, past the turn. Past the turn. I won the flip. I'm so lucky. All right, we can't play around Flusterstorm, so I won't even try. I would rather have a chance to draw Academy than play around a counterspell that I can't play around. He doesn't know about the second PO though, so he could also be spinning his top looking for a Force of Will here, which is my best case scenario. Like, if my spells just resolve, that's way better for me than if they don't. Hold the PO, crack it if you... But, like, then I just pass the turn and nothing happens. Repeal. Oh, okay. It's the old Raven's crime. All right, so we get to go again. But it's without top. Fucking backup Mox Opal. Oh no, I can do both. So, land drop, cast top, legend rule the opal, go extra deep. Alright, yeah, we can do it all. Keep this one. Alright, let's take another look. 4 more cards. Made it clear he doesn't have an answer to this. And we can still will this turn if that becomes something we want to do. Like Black Lotus becomes insane because we have will. Or does he have Force? Did he have it the whole time? Or he's thinking about blind flipping top. Alright, there it is. Did somebody say Black Lotus? Alright, so it's up to top and Brainstorm. Or no, it's not. I can just fucking PO for insane numbers. Okay. Alright, I think there's going to be a Hercule's recall for mana and cards here. So I can top, draw a card with top, in response Herc, and just reset all this. Even get to make a mana out of it. Now we're just doing it. All right, so we traded Hercule's Recall for a card and a mana. That's a good deal. Opal, Lotus. All right, can we sneak Brainstorm in here, and do we want to? I don't think we even want to, because we're just going to PR our way through all the cards we see on Brainstorm anyway. So, sack for blue, 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 blue. He said he was not scared after seeing my 5, but here we are. Yogwill. I can Ancestral before I do anything else, though PO is just better. All right. Boop, 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 boop. We're just doing it. For those of you tuning in who don't play a lot of Vintage, this is the PO deck. These are the stupid things it does. Welcome to Vintage. Yeah, wheeling with Narset. I might go for that, just the fucking style points. Windfall's actually better, though, because it's like, draw way more. Though, I think I'd rather just deterministically win the game. Though I could be talked into some shenanigans. Alright, can I sneak this top in here, too? Alright, I'll do the Graveyard PO again. Oh, there's Tendrils. We did it. We still don't have a Force of Will, though. So, if we're worried about protection, and you should always worry about protection. Though, I think if he had a Mindbreak Trap, he would have done it a long time ago. Oh, we do have a Force. Haha. D's. Tight plays for tight wizards. Here on Bosch and Roll stream. Is that good enough? Take 60. Click, 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 30 times click. Bang. We could have also just Narset wheeled for style points. No, that would have been terrible. The Tendrils was in our hand and we were in Yogwill, so our one win con would have been exiled. Never mind. I'm glad I didn't listen to Stu. That's the story of my life. Glad I didn't listen to Stu. I don't want degrade because I want to fight over their spells. Lightning Bolt hits Narset. Yeah, draw all good cards. Let your opponent resolve a Gitaxian Probe when your hand is stone garbage and then kill them one turn later. That's how you do it. It's true. It would have been really entertaining. It would have made a great clip if I just wheeled my only win con into exile. But I don't think my opponent would have missed that. All right, are there any terrible cards in the deck? We want Lightning Bolt so we can shoot his Narsets. There's a good chance this is the mirror or very close to it because this is his deck we're playing. Though I brought in Pyroblast. That hits Narset too. Maybe Bolt just does suck. Alright, I'm willing to believe Bolt sucks when we have Pyroblast active. Or available. Though he played a repeal that game, so he's not on the same 75. We don't have a repeal. He's up to something over there. I'm going to leave in the bolt. I don't trust my opponent. You should never trust your opponent. They're all scumbags and horrible. I never love Hercule's recall in the mirror. Like, it can, like, counter a PO, but otherwise is mostly a brick. Yeah, never trust anyone. That's even a better strategy. Better life strat. Alright, maybe Lightning Bolt does just suck. Alright, Lightning Bolt's out. Let's do it. I cut the Windfall this time. Remember when I lost in round 2 because I kept Windfall in my deck in the mirror? Cards that are not good include that one. Alright, so this is the defense hand, which I'm not interested in. I need some action. Alright, Mox Opal punishing us again. This hand doesn't do anything. Like, I'm 2 artifacts away from Mox Opal, not even 1. Though this Narset is decent. Lotus Narset, Force of Will. Okay, I'll keep this one. So, Memory Jar can go on the bottom. And maybe the second Narset needs to take a break. So I get to probe them, see if my Ancestral resolves, or just shove Narset. Hope we're not dead. Yeah, we somehow won it last game despite having the second PO resolve. Like, our opponent resolved the first PO when our shields were down. But that's one of the weirdnesses of the PO mirror. Like the deck has a lot of air. You can just whiff. Like, my opponent somehow didn't draw any way to draw more cards, or any way to win the game, or any way to counter my spells. And they saw like 7 or 8 new cards that turn. Alright, Ancestral Recall, save me from this mulligan. Alright, here's the plan. We're going to probe him, and his hand's going to have nothing good in it. And we're going to draw Black Lotus, and then we're going to Ancestral Recall and cast Narset, all in the same turn. That's how I drew it up. That's what's going to happen. They did not shuffle. Bummer. Oh god, Lotus Petal's in play. Are we dead? God, if he has targeted discard in his deck, I'm gonna just deflate like a balloon. Like, we just get Thoughtseized here. I guess my hand's pretty good against Thoughtseize, though, because I have 2 cards I like. Yeah, Vintage is fun. It's hard, but it's fun. Alright. The Naked Mox Opal. That's my favorite kind. Ah, remember when I described the plan to you? Show me your moves. He even has a Force of Will and a Mindbreak Trap. Shit. Wow, Vault Key. Look at this fucking hand. Alright, so I gotta try to trick him into Mindbreak Trapping this Ancestral Recall. Wait, I still lose if I do that. Wow. So, oh, this is fucked. Maybe he'll Force of Will. Though I can't imagine he would. Why would he? He can just win. Like, next turn he can assemble Vault Key with Force of Will backup. Wow, that hand is so good. This is some serious Vintage. But yes, he went for the Force of Will. Alright, he pitched the Mindbreak Trap on Force of Will. Now what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Alright, so Black Lotus, Lotus Petal. I can cast Narset and try to dig for an answer to this, or I could just merchant scroll for a Force of Will. This is tough. All right, so next turn, Vault Key, assembled, dead. I think I just have to get Force of Will here, even though I really don't want to. Narset could also get... No, Narset has to find Force of Will. All right, they can do this, right? Voltaic Key makes 3 artifacts, so that's 2 mana. Oh wait, no, they need to draw a mana source to make this work. They kept the Ponder though. Ugh. I would hate to lose this game now that we have this perfect information. Ah, shit. This is so hard. All right, we got tough choices. So they kept the Ponder. Like any mana source just kills me, right? I am sometimes a coward. Yeah, Voltaic Key makes 3, then yeah. Any mana source off the top wins the game. Admiral Sandman, you're the smartest person in the chat. So, wait, no, that doesn't help. So, maybe it does. I don't know. Like, so I thought for a second that could like get... All right. All right, so Narset could find Force or Misstep to get us out of there. Vanwidge wants the safe line. All right, so if I take the safe line, all right, I'm taking the safe line. I'm gonna take the Misstep though. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Misstep and hope to draw a mana for Narset. So if they put a mana source on top, which is what we were scared of, then this line is totally safe. If they have some other thing, we could lose. I am a coward. Took the Misstep. Let's draw a land and just win. Yeah, cowards do have longer lifespans, it seems. Though the back and forth, the banter we just had about my play in my hand might have given away a bunch of information. He thinks I have a draw 7. That's what he said in the chat. Oh, that was rough. Rough and wild. All right, we just spent 4 minutes thinking about a single play, so my opponent now gets to consider everything I'm doing. All right, I got priority back. All right, land off the top. Let's go land, 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 land. Not with Lotus Petal. It sucks that that's Lotus Petal, or else that would have been a free redraw. All right, so they did not draw a mana source. Oh, Vamp Tutor. Fuck. So what does Vamp Tutor do? I can't counter it because then I lose. Narset would have crushed him though. Like the Narset line, we would have done it. It would have got there. So Vamp Tutor probably gets his misstep and then we lose. Oh, Ancestral Recall. All right, he doesn't have a misstep. Okay, so his 2 cards in hand are Voltaic and Time Vault. All right, it's time to be a hero. Yeah, he must not have a misstep or he would have just got it. All right, come on, land. I need you, Narset. Mana source? No, that's not what I meant. All right, now we have to do this. And I'm pretty sure I'm just dead. I need Force of Will now. Wrong order, assholes. All right, let's hope he plays around this nothing that I have. Nope, we're dead. All right, he still needs to draw a mana source. That last card in hand needs to be a mana source for this to work. We still have a chance. Yeah, we're dead to any mana source at all. I'm really glad he doesn't have Misstep. Oh god. DT. Yeah, DT gets Lotus, then we die. That was a good draw. Alright, I need to see a win condition though. Well, it's not that we forgot. I just want to know what to board for. All right, he said he's all in on Tendrils. All right, cool. He will eventually get there. Narset, that was so close. My girl. Narset. All right, so I still like this configuration. We just got a little bricked. Yeah, Luis Scott Vargas is not a mortal man. I would like to play first. Let's keep a 7. So I have a turn 1 PO, but I'm going to wait till turn 2 because I can't protect it. I can protect it on turn 2. Island over Caracas? Yeah, I guess, like, I left it in game 2 because Lavinia is, like, a thing that exists. But you're right, for game 3, after he told me he's all in. Should have believed him. All right, I'm going to go for the turn 2 big play. Ooh. 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 So I could just put all these cards into play right now. How about that? And now I don't even care if I have to pitch this PO to Forest. Like, I'm ripping it up here. This is a proper vintage start, by the way. This is what you tune in to watch vintage for. So far I've cast 4 spells this turn, and I'm not even close to done. I hope that he has 1 Force of Will and no other interaction, because Pyroblast is the cat's ass here. Alright, we still have a Force of Will, so we don't die. He clearly doesn't have another one, or he would have played it. What did he pitch? Pitched a Flusterstorm. Okay. That means he either has a lot of counter magic or not very many blue cards. Alright, so I'm going to spin my top in the upkeep here. Yeah, just any blue card is great. I lost the flip. Oh no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so I'm going to go for the PO without making my land drop, because I can still draw Academy this turn. So I can beat Red Blast. I can't beat Flusterstorm here. Oh, another Force of Will. I can beat Force too. Alright. Vintage achieved. He pitched a Narset to that. Oh, Tendrils. Can we get there all natty? Sensei's top is 7. I think we did it, kids. I could even tinker for a Lotus to make sure I'm there. Oh wait, no, I do need to do that still. Whoops. Yeah, still need to tinker for Lotus. 8 is not enough, 9 is enough. That was close. Black Lotus. All right, now we're there. Blaze don't have anything. So I think if they had anything, they would have done it. All right, 4-1. We only lost to the Sylvan Mirror, and I definitely boarded wrong. Windfall should not be in the deck in the mirror. Yeah, that was crazy tight. We defeated the man himself, the Power 9. He created this deck. He rules. So, treasure hype? Let's bust some treasures. Narset is fucking nice. Also in the, yeah, betrayed by his own creation is true. Open those chests. Ooh, Boudica Gardener. Nim Deathmantle. Isn't this worth like a bunch of money in real life for some reason? For like EDH. Nim Deathmantle. I'm sure it's like nothing on Moto. 10 bones, yeah. Solid $10 bill. How about the E price? Probably 7 cents. 8 cents, that was close. Oh no, that's the foil, 1 cent. Literal 1, all right. Bust more chests. But Narset was awesome. Like, this lady is the real deal. Ryusei, the Falling Star. Oh, these 5 play point hits are no good. Let's get 1,000. Oh, Wrath of God theme deck, Mass Calcify and Blasphemous Act. We've bricked so far. It's still bricking. Uh-oh. We're running out of hits here. Crux of Fate and another 5 points. Oh god. Last chest. Woodland Cemetery. 4-1 Power 9. Only lost to the Sylvan PO mirror. Well, not mirror because it's Sylvan. Well, we lost to Sylvan PO. We defeated... this was Xerox, lost to Sylvan, beat Red Prison, beat Dredge, and then beat Yrmir. Yeah, we just 0-8'd the chests real hard. Those are the worst chests, consecutive string of chests I've ever opened, I think. But that's cool. Yeah, the luckiest Dredge player. Yep. All right, so... Oh, we need something up here. There it is. All right. So this deck was pretty sweet. Narset, I think, is very real. Like, I don't think we... So, we cast her twice tonight, I think, or in 2 different matches. In the first round, we Narset plus draw 7 to our opponent twice in game 1 and game 2. Yeah, basically free. Well, the promo is only 6 tickets. I could have had alternate art for like, and saved myself $1. Bummer. Yeah, Narset is dirt cheap. It's a standard legal uncommon. Only vintage players want this card, so go snap them up. Yeah, so we had the Narset plus draw 7 combo in 1 match tonight, but we did it both games. And once it was on turn 1, we had a turn 1 Narset time twister. Badoom. Then in another match, we had Narset, she minused, and then we time walked Narset, cast a second Narset. So we activated her 3 times in 1 turn cycle, basically. That was pretty messed up. We won that game. And Power 9, in our game 2, when I was in the tank, I could have jammed Narset on the turn that I merchant scrolled and just hoped that A, she found a counterspell on her minus, or B, you just didn't have a mana source on top of your deck. And I instead took the safe line, which if I get misstep, I can make sure you don't kill me that turn. Then if I draw a mana source, I can cast Narset next turn. But I did not draw any mana sources the rest of that game. So it was a really tough call. Though after you kept your Ponder, like if you hadn't pondered, I think I would have just jammed Narset. But you kept your Ponder. I assumed you set everything up perfectly. Like your hand was already perfect. So I had to bait the counterspell out somehow and then figure out what to do after that. It was a really tough line. And I had to bait you with Force of Will. Like I couldn't let you just Mind Break trap me. I had to get the 2 cards out of your hand. Yeah, like having the access to the 1 misstep really opened up my options. Because like if I had to get Force of Will there, then you just jam your combo. It puts me to Hellbent, and then like I'm Hellbent and you're not, and you have Vamp Tutor. So you would have been way ahead. But misstep lets me play differently. Does your list not have a misstep in it? Because if you vamped for misstep, I would have just lost instead of Ancestral. So I don't know, tough stuff. Vintage is hard, and Magic is fun. All of these things are true. But anyone want to talk about Vintage some more? You have any questions? I'm not going to fire up another league tonight. This league was fun. The matches were fun. We go back to Paris Mulligans on Wednesday. So I don't want to like start a league and then play by different rules for the second half of the league. All right, so the Miser's Bolt is actually awesome. I talked about this a little bit. I won, Kubles. We finished 4-1. So I'm in love with this Miser's Lightning Bolt. Power 9 is super smart. He identified that Lightning Bolt kills Lavinia. It kills Lodestone Golem. It kills Phyrexian, what's its face? God, I'm brain farting. What is the card? Revoker, Phyrexian Revoker. And it also kills Narset. And it also kills Karn if Karn minuses. So, like, this kills so many more things than Pyroblast does. Like, normally these decks play a 1-of Pyroblast in the main, but Lightning Bolt might just be better positioned right now, and I'm in love with it. And what's really cool, yeah, Phyrexian Metamorph. You can Lightning Bolt that sometimes. Revoker is the name I was looking for. So, my favorite thing about this Miser's Lightning Bolt is that in real life, I own 1 Alpha Lightning Bolt, which is really awkward because what do you do with 1 Alpha Lightning Bolt? The answer is shove it in your vintage deck. Yeah, bolting the Karn is pretty big. We're talking about new Karn here, who I happen to have up right here. New Karn starts at 5 loyalty. All right, now it's in Japanese. That doesn't help. All right. Karn starts at 5 loyalty, and at -2s to choose an artifact you own from outside the game and put it in your hand. So he goes from 5 down to 3. So just being able to clip Karn is pretty nice. If they choose to plus, then you can never bolt him. He becomes a 6 loyalty, and they can even -1 safely. Like, no, Log T. I have heard nothing at all from Bizarre Moxen, or whoever the EU organizers are. I have no idea, Log T. I've never played against it once. But maybe now that Lightning Bolt is known technology, people will plus more aggressively. But, like, if you don't expect Lightning Bolt, you just go draw a card right now. Like, just minus, get your card. Because that's better value. So, like, it makes perfect sense. Yeah, the only thing you do with new Karn, the plus is Karn Silver Golem, right? Up to 1 target non-creature artifact becomes an artifact creature with power and toughness equal to its converted mana cost. Yeah, so he can plus to kill Moxes or Chalices, but, like, his static ability is Null Rod, so why do you care about killing a Mox? Karn plus Mycosynth Lattice? Oh, is that the combo? Yeah, so unless they're playing around Lightning Bolt, like, that's the only reason they would ever not minus immediately. Yeah, okay, so Karn gets Mycosynth Lattice, and then your opponent can't make mana anymore from any source. All right, yeah, that's powerful. I guess they could still Spirit Guide, but that's it. Yeah, Karn is interesting. We didn't play against shops at all tonight. We did play against the prison deck, though, like the red prison deck that could totally have Karn in it, but we just didn't see it. Right? Doesn't Lattice cost 6, though? Mycosynth Lattice. Let's see, did I spell that correctly? Nailed it. Yeah, it does cost 6. Okay. So, but it is an artifact, so shop can cast it. So, yeah, I mean, that is a potential end game that a deck could have. It seems more powerful in Modern than Vintage, but I'm not the expert. Yeah, so that's what the Lightning Bolt is for. All these new Planeswalkers that people are trying, like even Teferi is in decks, like Lightning Bolt is very good against Planeswalkers' faces in general. And a lot of the new Planeswalkers only go down, so it's not like you could even play around Bolt. In Teferi, you could just like plus forever, but then you're not actually getting any value. Teferi's minus draws a card. His plus just lets you cast sorceries as instants. So Lightning Bolt is good at pressuring these new Planeswalkers. Yeah, we did, Kubels, that did come up one time tonight. I played against, I forget what deck it was against, but I did in fact cast Narset and then just pass the turn without minusing. Like that is something that happened. What was the situation? I'm trying to remember. I think they might have had a 2-power creature in play or something. Oh no, they had a Painter's Servant in play. That's what it was. They had a 1-power creature in play. So I did not minus with my Narset, so she didn't die immediately. Like my plan was the next turn to cast a draw 7, so I wanted to make sure that she didn't die to bolt or anything. Mr. Snufflepagus. Snuffleupagus? Snuffleupagus. 0. Snuffleupagus. That's my choice. 0. Thanks for the follow. We're just chatting about the deck before I sign off for the evening. But there's a lot to talk about. These new cards are really sweet. Minusing in the dark with no counter magic and maybe some action. Well, I think in general, minusing Narset immediately is like the point of Narset. She's like this hateful enchantment that also draws 2 cards along the way. So, like, in general, you do want to minus right away. But, like, if you think they might have a lightning bolt, what do you want to talk about? Demonic Tutor? And that it's the wrong art, specifically? Is that what you mean? And I think I minus Narset a lot of the time. Like, if they're Xerox, I might not right away, because, like, you don't want her to just get bolted. And her being in play against Xerox is just crushing. So maybe just being a hateful enchantment is good enough. Listen, Log T. Here's the thing. My real-life Magic collection is very nice. I have very nice versions of all the cards, and I worked really hard over a long time to have the nicest versions I can. But Magic Online? I'm just here for the reps. This Force of Will, wrong art, wrong flame. Look at these Tormod scripts. They're horrible. Look at these white border defense grids. But these are 8 cents, and the Stronghold ones are $2. So that's big value. And this is like significantly cheaper. All these Moxes, they're like hundreds of dollars cheaper than the original frames. All my dual lands are wrong. Look at this Flooded Strand. I know, it's horrible. I know. But here, I am just here for reps. Yeah, look at that. 7 cents versus $1.37. So where it doesn't matter, like this Wheel of Fortune, it was like 20 cents more than the gross version. So like I'll pay 20 cents more for a nice version of a card, but like this is wrong. This is wrong. I know. Yep. I'm just here for the reps. Get those reps in, get the games under your belt, get fluid with your plays. And they can be as ugly as you want in that world. In real life, though, where everything is a flex, I do have all the right dual lands. I have nice everything. Look at this Merchant Scroll, by the way. This is not an option. Like, unless you buy a foil one, you have to play white border on Magic Online. This is the only printing of this card on Moto. It's rough. Or is there a promo one? If there's a non-foil promo version, I would consider it. Nope, this is it, folks. There is one printing. If you want it in black border, you have to pay almost 4 times the price. The Pirate Theme Judge promo? And I don't see it on MTGO Traders. So, like, unless there's some reason they wouldn't stock it. I don't know. It's foil, of course it is. And if it was close, I would pay for the black border, but it's not. It's like an extra $3. And $3 on Magic Online goes a long way. Like, for this, to build this deck tonight, I had to buy this, and also these. Like, I had to buy this column of cards to play this deck tonight, these 8 cards. This cost me about $3. Yep, $3. So paying $3 extra for your black border merchant scroll means that I didn't get all these cards to play my functional deck. Hey, busting chests is higher EV right now than selling them. But we just happen to brick real bad. Yeah, busting chests is great. But we just happen to open some bad chests. Bad times. All right. Anyone else want to talk about Vintage before I sign off for the evening? Like I said, I'm stopping slightly early tonight. We might get another match in if I join a league, but the London Mulligan is going away on Wednesday, and I don't want to start a league with one set of rules. Opening chest means you're further from the cards you need? Is that even true? So I could sell 8 chests for like 16 tickets. But like, I use play points a lot, and a chest with like 20 play points in it is worth more to me than 2 tickets is. So like 10 play points is about a ticket as far as tournament buy-in goes. And it's gambling for sure, straight up. But like, you open like a set or like 100 play points, like that's $10. Like, you're good. It's pretty rare that you just totally brick on 8 chests. Like 8 chests worth of opens usually works out to be more than your 2 tickets each. So I basically always bust chest, never not. Been playing on these same 16 tickets forever, just ripping play points. All right, so if we're just going to talk about chests, I think I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. PO is great, Vintage is great, Narset is great. War of the Spark is very real. We're going to feel War of the Spark in Vintage and probably Legacy for a while. Thanks for tuning in. I'll find someone sweet to host. What is Jarvis doing? Oh, Jarvis right now is streaming Legacy featuring New Karn. I did not play in the Vintage Online qualifier. No, I played in the Legacy one. All right, so we're going to go hang out with Jarvis. He is streaming Legacy featuring New Karn. It's going to be awesome. Let's go get him. And I'm done for the night. Thanks for tuning in. Follow me on here. Follow me on Twitter @BoschandRoll. See you later.